welcome to our Friday live broadcast. We are so happy that you are joining us. If you're catching this on the rebroadcast, welcome as well. And I know some of you don't do Facebook and you're only on YouTube, and this will also be uploaded to my YouTube page for those of you who don't want to do Facebook. So we got you covered. Today we are going to talk about living keto and counting macros. And Michael and I are going to share with you our experience and why it is we like to describe what we're doing as living keto-like and what that has done for us, not only as far as health benefits, but lifestyle-wise, and really helping us just live more authentically while trying to reach the goals that we're looking for with our nutrition. So if you're new, welcome. Make sure you hit that like button so you'll be notified when we go live. We are also asking that you guys put in the comment section, add me, so ADD me, so that when we have downloads for you guys to get through a topic that we're talking here in our live, or you are interested in getting on our email list for recipes and things like that we're going to start sending out regularly from the site as well, then you'll already be on that list and you'll just get the information as we have it scheduled out. My name is Diane, in case you're new. This is my husband, Michael.
Hello.
And I have been in the health and fitness industry for a very long time. I'm a certified nutrition coach, and Michael and I have been living this intermittent fasting and keto-like lifestyle for a couple of years now. And I had been working with mostly women over on my Facebook page, and we had a huge demand for sharing the male perspective and what we're doing in our family as far as passing this down through our kids. And so this is the place and the time that we are discussing this here as a duo, husband and wife, who are practicing this lifestyle. So counting macros. Can you live a keto-like lifestyle and not count your macros? And what is it like when you are actually counting your macros? So Michael and I are very all in or all out personality wise. And we have been all in before on nutritional plans and dieting and shredding down and really going to the extremes to get a result. And so when we started doing this lifestyle and wanted to really incorporate the keto-like lifestyle, and we've really have really perfected being able to stay in a keto-like lifestyle without having to be too obsessed about it. And the reason we've done that is because of our past experiences and the fact that we've done the weighing, measuring, counting the last minute until you get to eat again kind of thing, spreading out our meals, carrying lunch bags with us everywhere we go. And it was exhausting. And as soon as you jump out of that type of lifestyle, because it's really hard to live for a long period of time, then you go back to your normal. And what we've experienced, and I know a lot of women, and I've experienced this as well, is that when you get so down to perfect in your physique, but it's taking you a lot of work and a lot of sacrifice, and then you decide that that's not a lifestyle that's easy to maintain, and you go back to what is considered normal, then you get a little thrown off and disillusioned about your body, because going down to that deep counting macros, weighing protein grams, all that kind of stuff, can really create a really nice physique, a dream physique. We've both been in that position before, but once you leave the dream and you come back to reality, then you get a little bit of, I would say we have actually gone into phases where we've really been unhealthy about our nutrition. It's almost like you do a binge purge sort of kind of,
Yeah,
kind of
really
backwards almost, right?
Yeah.
Where you go to the extremes in dieting, and then you sort of go into the extremes of making up for lost time, and you start eating everything, and then before you know it, you put on a bunch of weight.
Right.
That's the cycle of dieting in a nutshell. And then when you take it to extremes, then you just end up with extreme results, either the good or the bad as far as that goes. And so we kind of made a commitment when we first started on this journey, because our main concern was being healthy and really getting our life back. And Michael was really concerned about how I was feeling when I was sick, that we decided to not count macros. And Michael, what has that done for you to kind of ease into this lifestyle? Because you had your hesitations in the beginning. So not having to be micromanaging it, how has that helped you ease into this and stick to it?
Well, I think it's helped me not to go down that path of failure. And what I mean by that is when you're so focused on doing it a certain way and counting macros and doing all this, and you like you get invited out to have a dinner or something. It's like, oh, well, I've kind of blown everything. So you make that choice. You go, okay, I'm either going to blow it and go hang out with my friends or go have dinner or whatever with my wife, or I'm going to stick to this plan. And sometimes sticking to that plan can be kind of miserable. It's like, because you're missing out on all kinds of stuff. So I've found that with this lifestyle of intermittent fasting and not counting macros, that we didn't really have to, get into that place of going down that road of where you might possibly fail,
Right. And we both have worked in the nutritional supplement industry for a while. And we've seen a lot of our friends jump on these fitness programs with very specific nutritional plans that are designed for a infomercial result. And they've really lived this fat, waiting for the next fitness program to come out. Oh, they're fit again, and then they're fat again. Because when you don't have someone telling you what to do every day and everything's so micromanaged, then you haven't learned how to live your life. And you haven't learned how to live your life moderately around food and social occasions. And so we saw ourselves kind of going down that path as well. And I've talked on my page about my Body Beast results, where I did a bodybuilding program and got infomercial results. I did exactly what I set out to do. But that was the beginning of me becoming sick, because I wasn't living my own authentic life. And Michael, you had the same experience when you did a fitness program and you got really lean. And how long did that last?
Well, it lasts long enough to take some good photos, and then you're like, give
me some bread.
Yeah, you kind of want to, because you really miss it. You miss the life. You're like, you know what? I miss having a cold beer. I miss having a pizza. I miss hanging out with the kids and I'm the cookie monster. I love having cookies. I don't do that now, but still, I mean, there's certain things in your life that you enjoy, especially with your family and stuff. And so it's, and we've seen a lot of our friends get really sick, and I know for us, like we like kind of went backwards, because it seems like the way your body reacts to going back to your old ways, it's a really bad reaction. Like you really put on weight fast. You retain a lot of water.
Lots of stress for you.
Yeah. It's a lot of stress on your body. Then you find yourself in a position where you're looking at 20, 30 pounds. Like, okay, where did that come from? I've even said like, hey, something must be wrong with our dryer, right?
Yeah.
Because like, there's no way that these jeans are fitting me this tight. I mean, I haven't done any, I'm a healthy person. Like, there's no way that these jeans won't close. You know what I mean? And you start playing head games with yourself, but you really, you've thrown on the weight.
Right.
So you have to, so counting the macros is it can be a miserable thing to do.
Well, and the point that we've talked about that we really wanted to talk about here was that you have to know your personality. So if you're the type of personality that can handle that, and then you're not going to go into binge mode as soon as you hit a date that you've decided you're going to stop doing that, and undoing everything that you've done through managing something so closely like your macros or calories or those kind of things, then you're probably okay. Like your personality could handle it. But we were all in or all out. That's our personality. We're like that with everything that we do. And so fitness and nutrition is that thing that we have to be really careful with, because again, you feel like you sacrificed for so long, you're all in. And then you're like, okay, now my date is up. I took my after pictures. Oh, now I'm all out. And then you go to the extremes, and then you can kind of finally settle into your life. And like I said, I do believe that that's where I started to get sick, just because I threw my thyroid off. I threw what was going on with my insulin off. And my body didn't know how anymore to handle those drastic changes. And so it is a personality thing. I always say you want to check in with yourself first, know what kind of personality you have, can you handle it? And then the other thing for us is we've been able to maintain what we call the energized sense of calm, which is what ketosis feels like. We've had all the signs and signals of being in ketosis, the breath, the change in odor of your own perspiration. We've had that energized sense of calm, our mind being clear. You can smell the ketones being excreted in your urine. So we feel pretty confident that we've been able to maintain a state of ketosis without having to manage our macros. And a lot of that is because we are also practicing intermittent fasting. So we can fast through where we might not be managing or so finite in our macro accuracy, because we're also utilizing intermittent fasting. And together, those things really do help you create a state of ketosis without having to manage your macros. And we just default to what? What do we default to with our nutrition?
Well, what we do is, like, with this lifestyle, you can focus more on, you're focused on your macronutrients, but just in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're not charting and, putting it in a spreadsheet and doing all this crazy stuff and losing our life. But what we are doing is focusing on dense nutritional fats and putting that at the top of the pie chart, instead of flip the other way around, and moderate proteins and very low carbs. So if you're sticking to that and using some common sense, where sometimes common sense will just go straight out the window when we know the difference between something that's nutrient dense and something that's not.
Like sweet potatoes versus a bag of potato chips.
Yeah. But there's a lot of people that really don't know the difference, and you can help people and teach them the difference. But for most people, the difference between eating this that's really bad and eating this that has a lot of dense nutrition. So there's no guesswork there. So just choose the right thing, but kind of flip it where you're having more focus on the higher fats, because science is really proven nowadays that that's where it's at. As far as, there's a lot of data to go into, and we're not going to do that now, but high fats, good dense nutrition fats, moderate proteins, and low carbs.
Right, and conscious carbs.
Yeah.
Not so much you have to go super low, but that you're eating the carbs that are going to be nutrient dense for you and keep your body sustaining all the nutrients that you need. And so I would say, know your personality first and foremost is the deciding factor on whether you should be the person that's counting macros. Can you maintain a state of ketosis and the benefits of ketones being present in your body without counting macros? Absolutely. The second thing you want to make sure that you have established before you go into to counting macros is what was I going to say? Personality. Your health status. So oftentimes when you're more concerned about reaching your macro goals versus are you choosing dense nutrition, then you can actually take common sense out of it and just put raw numbers into it. And then you could actually do more harm than good for your body, because you're not eating or paying attention to the foods that might be causing you some intolerances or putting you off balance. So knowing your personality, understanding where your current state of health is. And when I say state of health, I always mean healthy as in physical and healthy as in emotional and mental, with the relationship that you have with food. And that's really where we've come to a comfortable place with this kind of lifestyle, is because we had to go through that process of really making sure we were healthy. And I know for me, I was really unhealthy as far as how I put food in my life. And a lot of it was the dieting and just going so deep to get a picture. And so now that I feel like I'm really healthy, we can really jump in and out of what we're doing nutritionally without having to go backwards on anything. So personality, knowing your health status physically, emotionally, and mentally with food, knowing your intolerances as well. And then knowing that what you're doing should never have an end date. So not putting an end date on what you're doing for your body that is proving to be good for you. And that's really where, and we kind of have to bring my woman philosophy over here to the family philosophy too, is that Michael really does make decisions for himself that help him look and feel his best, because he wants to look and feel his best for his family and for his wife and for himself. And then being able to live authentically. So you're living within the same confines that your family's living in. And there were times for us when our kids were living one way and we were living another way. And it was miserable because you're having two sets of rules and guidelines nutritionally for you and your family. And it's like almost like, well, we're eating this way and you guys are a certain class and you're eating this way. And it should never be like that in a family. So the way we live now is we eat the same way our kids eat, and our kids eat the same way that we eat. And if there's something, an ingredient or a product that makes us feel bad, then there's a pretty good chance it's going to make our kids feel bad too. They just haven't been mature enough around nutrition to realize it. So we're trying to kind of make sure that they don't end up down that road as well.
Yeah, it's something important you said about having an end date in mind. And that is so what we did all the time we're starting this program, we're eating a really strict certain way, counting our calories, and we have things on our phone, we can track everything. And then you have that end date in mind. And man, I'll tell you, I could not wait to get to that end date, because I'm going to go off, because I'm kind of tired of this life of being you're just being denied the things that you normally would eat and the things that you like. Mm-hmm. So with that in mind, having that end date in mind, you just kind of throw everything out the window, and it throws your body into a wreck. But if you know that I'm going to live this certain way and this certain lifestyle, and this is something I'm going to do from now on, then your body stays in a healthier place. I mean, wouldn't you say that?
Yeah. And Michael made mention of he's the cookie monster, and he's the cookie monster. And he used, when you're denied certain kinds of food and then they're present in your life, you have that scarcity mentality. Like you just want to eat them all up because you don't know when you're going to get them again. And if you were to look in our pantry right now, there's all kinds of cookies and there's all kinds of treats and there's all kinds of, little things, because we don't want to deprive our kids of that either. And they're very healthy about how they snack. And there's cookies in there. So because you can have cookies whenever you want, you just make sure that the quality of cookies that we have in our cupboard are good quality cookies. And we're going to do a review of our pantry so you guys can see some of the stuff that we have, that you don't feel like you have to gorge on something.
But I don't eat them every day.
Not every day, but you're also not denied them if you want them.
Right.
And I think that is that mental and emotional health relationship that you have with food, knowing that if you wanted to have a cookie today, you could have a cookie. Right. And it's not failing anything. It's a conscious choice that you make and you go about your day. But where before, every time you reach for a cookie or two or whatever, it was like, oh man, I'm cheating, or I shouldn't be doing this, or I hope nobody notices, or whatever. And that's when you really started to become problematic with food emotionally. So we have cookies everywhere. We're just choosing not to have them right now because Michael and I have some specific goals that we're experimenting with a new way of introducing the keto-like lifestyle into our life. And we're going to experiment with it first. And then depending on how we go through it and what the results we get and how we felt about the process, then we're going to share it with our community here. So we've just chosen not to have those kind of things right now because we're doing something very specific with what we're doing with our keto nutrition right now and what we're doing with our fasting. But if I wanted to have a cookie today, I could too. That's fine because I've just made that decision for myself.
Right.
Right. So do you need to count macros? Yes and no. If you are the kind of person that you need to have that structure and it doesn't throw you off track, then counting macros would be a great thing for you. I would say just don't have an end date on it. Make sure you're always managing your macros in some sort of way. You can visually manage macros as well, sort of like portioning your plate. You just want to have the majority of your calorie intake come from healthy fats, moderate to low protein, conscious carbohydrates, knowing sensibly what good carbohydrates are and good fats are. You want to make sure you have a healthy relationship with your nutrition, physically, emotionally, and mentally. And then again, don't have that end date in mind. It should be a lifestyle that you're creating that will not only work for you, but also work with the people that you spend time with around food, whether that be just socially or what you're doing with your family or your grandkids or whatever it is. You don't want to have to exit your life to be around friends and family. And then you don't want your friends and family to have to exit their life to be around you. You should be mainstream enough that you can fit in any social setting wherever you are. And then that way you don't feel like an outcast, and that way you don't feel like you're cheating, or that way you don't feel like you're denied as well.
Right.
Because we've gone through that also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so hopefully this is helping some of you who aren't sure what you should be doing to live a keto-like lifestyle. We also don't believe that you need to measure ketones to be in ketosis. We've done that before, and again, it's one of those things that's nerve-wracking because if you don't get the right color purple, the right shade of purple, you feel like everything you've done is for nothing. We don't believe you should live your life that way. We do listen to the signs and signals that our body is sending us. We feel like we're in ketosis right now. We had a great workout this morning.
We are right now. Trust me.
We had a great workout this morning. We've been drinking our water. We've had our coffee. We're very cautious about our food right now and very conscientious about food choices that we're making. So we don't need to pee on a really expensive stick. We can feel it by the signs and signals that our body is sending us, and that's what we really advise you guys to do. Keep your money in your pocket. You don't need to be peeing on any sticks to prove anything. So I'm going to jump on here real quick and welcome everyone and answer any questions you guys might have. Carol, so good to have you with us today. Joy, always good to see you. Diane, hello. All you guys are saying add me. Awesome. And then Gail from the February and March courses add me. And then Luis, you're here as well. So thanks you guys for jumping on. I hope this answers some of those questions that we get a lot. Michael and I are doing fantastic, and our family's doing fantastic too. My son is really feeling so clear in his head, and that's really important. He's 17. He's doing the final stages of selecting his college, and he's got lots of interviews to be on, and he's really enjoying this new lifestyle that we've incorporated into our house. And it's not anything that's weird, and it's not anything that seems off. They have really just fallen into it with us, and that's been the best, because this is the first time Michael and I have done something that we've felt so positive about and felt so good on that our family can do too. It's like we don't walk around saying we're the keto family. We don't have to. We just eat a certain way, and they don't feel like they're being deprived of anything, because like I said, there's cookies and candy and all kinds of stuff in our cupboards. So they don't feel like they're on a diet or a special way of eating either. We just plate our food the way that works best for us. High fat, moderate protein, conscious carbs. And that's what our kids do too. So it works really well for our family. We will be like this forever now, with little bouts of jumping in and out, because when you're healthy, you can jump in and out as well. So I had someone send me an email, and I'll address this on my other page too, about some new person out there talking about how high fat is bad and that we should be living a low fat vegan lifestyle. I've been there. I've done that. That didn't work for me for the long term. And this high fat way of living is just a happier way for us to live. So I always want to caution too, especially with Michael and I talking to some of the husbands that come on, and for you women who are going to go off and share some of this information with your husband, the best thing you can do about your nutrition is figure out what works best for you. There's always going to be some new study or new research or new philosophy or new book that's being sold or new whatever that's coming out that's going to prove that way is the right way. And of course it is, because they had a study on it. And anytime you stick to a plan, I could go back to eating 6 meals a day every 2 hours and be in a calorie deficit and work out an hour and a half a day like I used to, and I would probably get really great results. But at the end of that, I would be sick. So what I think everyone should do, men, women, kids, whoever it is, who's not feeling great about their body or their health, and they really want to do something that's going to work for them, find what works for you. Find what works for you. Stop following people blindly who have a new study out. Studies are great, and we should read all of them. And then we should take little bits and pieces from these philosophies and experiment with us, with your spouse. Is it going to work for both of you? Because no one wants to live with a husband who's eating a completely different way than you are. We've done that too. Is find the pieces of philosophies and lifestyles that really do meld for you and work for you and make sense. It should be common sense. And if living a low-fat vegan lifestyle works for you, then I say that's fantastic. Definitely do that. But it doesn't work for me. I've tried it. I can't live a high-protein lifestyle anymore either. That didn't work for me so well. So we're really living a lifestyle that makes us happy. And it just so happens that we're adding in some more fat. We watch what it is we're doing with our protein, and we're eating a lot of vegetables. And we eat fruit on occasion. We don't eat fruit every day like we used to. And that's really been key for us. So find something that makes you happy. Find something that makes you present in your life with the people that you love, and then do it in such a way that's going to yield you the results that you want, and then tweak it as you go if something's not working for you. And that's really how we've gotten to this, what we call the IF Keto-Like lifestyle, because we've tweaked it enough to make it work for everyone. And then like we're having friends over for dinner tonight, and guess what? They're going to eat Keto-Like too, and they probably won't even notice. Because it's just normal food. We're just managing the way we plate our things and what we offer in a way that meets our needs. And so it's really easy to accommodate that way as well. So again, thank you so much for jumping on with us. Let me see if there's another comment on there.
Just do your research.
Debbie,
do your research.
what are the signs your body is
so
telling
much
you that
info
you
out there.
aren't just? So what are the signs your body is telling you're ketosis? I just said, I just went over them, but I'll go over them again. Energized sense of calm, meaning you have an abundance of energy even after hours of not consuming any calories. Your mind is clear, so you're not panicking about being hungry. That is a sign that your hunger hormones are balanced out. So the fleeting thoughts of starvation or feeling like you're going to pass out or having like a hypoglycemic type of incident, they go away. You're energized and you're calm at the same time. Also, did our thing go away? Let's see. Oh, it looks like our picture went away. Let's see. Did it? Oh, it did.
Looks like the picture's gone. I don't know if the sound is still there.
I don't know if the sound is there either. So I'll just finish answering this, and then we'll log off for today. You want to look for those energized sense of calm signals. The fact that you will smell the presence of ketones in your system because they are excreted out. So you just kind of notice changes in those kind of things, and you have what's called keto breath. So those are the signs and signals you want to look for. So we are going to jump off because it looks like it is not broadcasting anymore. So thanks, Diane. We appreciate the fact that you love our recipes. Those will be going out every Friday. So you definitely want to make sure that you are getting on our email list, either here or on my page. And then that way you'll be included in the recipe emails that are keto-like that we're sending out every Friday. Have a good weekend, you guys. And we'll jump back onto my page on Monday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time.
All right. See y'all. Have a great weekend.